My name is Mtamu Kililo. I am an architect registered and practicing in Nairobi, and I'm an entrepreneur, a founder of MycoTile, which is a startup that manufactures wall and roof insulation made using agricultural waste that is recycled using and bonded using mushroom mycelium, which is the roots or the vegetative parts of mushroom. MycoTile as an idea was started in 2017 in Rwanda, where I was among 10 fellows from across the continent that were working on issues that affect the continent and how we can better tackle them in the future. And in that company that we were doing fellowship under, which is called Mass Design Group, they allowed us a catalytic fund where you do research into anything that you are interested in. And I've always been interested in circular materials, materials that are good for the environment and have a light impact to the environment. And through research, I found out a few researches in using fungus in building materials. And Rwanda or Kigali happens to have one of the biggest mushroom growing farms in East Africa, which is Kigali Farms. So I spent a bit of time in their growing farms, and through that did a bit of research in making small things, panels, light fittings, accessories for offices. And the research then was just a passion project. But in 2018, when I came back to Kenya, I thought this could become a business. And I started doing a bit of pitching here and there. Some were successful, some were not. On a typical day, I would wake up, check up with the factory, what is happening, or if there's everything is growing in order. Our building materials are not manufactured in the traditional sense of manufacturing. They grow because it's a living organism. It's fungus or oyster mushroom. So you have to monitor, see that temperatures are fine, humidities are fine. But also I am still a consulting architect. So occasionally I'll look at, maybe have a site meeting, or I have to respond to a few mails or respond to a few clients. So it's a juggle between the manufacturing side and the consultancy as an architect. I took a slightly different path from what a traditional architect would. So around 2016, I left the commercial architecture, where you wake up, you deliver project to client's brief and meet commercial needs, and the project needs to go on rent. And I went into a path of impact design, where we are talking about mission-driven project. Each project has a mission to impact a society, to impact the environment, or financially also. So it's a very frugal budget, or a project that will impact the environment better or the community better. And we build a lot of schools and hospitals in Rwanda in that model. And so within that also, I ventured now into the circular building materials. And this is the research that we've been working with in MycoTile, where we are looking at what are other alternative ways that we can do material as opposed to brick and mortar that we've been doing for a while. And you still have all this deficit in housing in the country of up to 80%. So as for now, we recycle sugarcane bagasse, which is the majority of waste you get from production of sugar. And this is a waste that the factories don't know what to do with. And this is what we recycle and bond using mushroom mycelium, which we make in the lab with the Kenya government through Kirdi, and bond into building materials. So it's completely alternative. It's a recycling waste that is readily available into useful building material. And this, the sugarcane bagasse is only one of the materials that we can use. We can use corn cobs, coffee husks, rice husks, and even sisal and coconut coir. As an architect, I think I would say there are many challenges that architects are facing, but I wouldn't go into that. But as a startup manufacturing in the country, we are getting a lot of challenges because we are introducing a new product. The building industry has been using quite old code, so it is not very friendly to new materials. There's a proposed code that is a bit more friendly and is likely to adopt new material quite better. We also have challenges in having labs to test material, especially new materials that are credible enough to take to KEBS. But those we are looking at partnership outside the country, and possibly we will find a solution.
Being nominated for the top 40 under 40 business daily list is, for me, came as a surprise. I'm just one believer in pushing the idea and making it happen, and not so much for for recognition, but for the idea to get successful. I always like to be always behind the idea. The idea is always bigger than any person. So for me, is to see the success of MycoTile is a lot more important. So yeah, this came as a surprise to me, but yeah, I'm happy I'm here.